Bob Taylor. Pleasure to meet you, sir.
Nice meeting you too, man.
In 2001, I bought a Taylor 410 CE.
2001?
Yeah, I still have it. Open coal, back inside.
Wow, that's 23 years ago, 24 years ago.
I dated myself a little bit.
And you still have that guitar?
Oh yeah. Actually, I like to keep it a whole step down.
Really?
Yeah, just because there's something about that wood. And you know what's funny is I think it's gotten greener. You know what I mean? Like, not greener as in younger, but greener like the look of it. There's a little green tint to that open coal.
Yeah.
And when I hold it up to guitars that are newer, it just looks different to me. Like, it's gotten yellowier, greener, whatever, but I love it. It's a great guitar.
That's a cool thing when guitars age.
Yeah.
And it's a cool thing that people love guitars when they age.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. Guitars are like people that way. We ought to get better over time.
We really should.
Yeah. I'm
working on it.
Well, me too. That's why I came to you to get some tips. So
Well, I'll give you a tip.
Yeah, go.
You can have anything you want.
Yeah.
You just can't have everything you want.
There you go.
Okay, so take that with you.
That's pretty good. Little wisdom from Uncle Bob.
Yeah.
You know, I love what you're doing with the Ebony Project.
Yeah.
And what you're doing with just wood and conservation, but also just being responsible and accountable and leaving it better than you found it. Not a whole lot of folks are doing that, and you're really leading the way in that. And I wonder, like, for you, because that's a big audacious goal, I'm sure, when you started doing that. That was like, we're doing what? Right?
Yeah.
And if for some reason you're watching this and you haven't seen that, go to YouTube, type in the Ebony Project, and you'll see what I'm talking about. But what's the next big audacious goal for Taylor?
Well, there's a few. You know, we have the Ebony Project. We also have, we're 7 or 8 years into kind of I'll call it a koa project. So we're planting koa and cleaning up forests in Hawaii. As we get our wood, we make contracts with people, and we're doing this sort of cool collaboration with landowners where we can take out some value of the koa that they have. It's usually old, and some of these trees, they turn into what we call standing mulch if you leave them too long.
Oh, yeah.
So while there's still some value, we take it out, and then we can reforest at 6 times, maybe 10 times the rate. We also acquired of our own 560 acres that we're planting improved koa. It's wilt resistant, won't die from the fusarium wilt that's killing koa. And we're putting 150,000 trees on that.
Wow.
And we're about a fourth of the way through the planting. Each year the planting gets better because we're better at growing out the seedlings and doing it. So we plant once a year. So that property, when it's fully matured, say 20 years from now, maybe 30 years from now, will provide koa on our own property.
Wow.
Enough for Taylor guitars and probably anybody else who wants koa to make instruments out of. It's a lot of, and that could be sustainable. We love what we're doing with urban wood. So we work closely with arborists, big arborists. They have contracts with 30 cities in California and some in Arizona as well. And when certain trees come down, there's about 3 species that we love, and we make guitars out of them every day.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, and so we have the chamois ash, which we call urban ash. We have the iron bark, the red iron bark, and then we have different walnuts that we use. Oh, also, you know, we made Tasmanian blackwood guitars.
Oh yeah?
For a lot of years.
Yeah, like on the 300 series.
Yeah. When we make those now, we make them tend to be in more limited quantities. They're from California street trees.
Did you just say Tasmanian blackwood is from California? Did I mishear you? No.
I'm saying that 70 years ago, they were planted all over Northern California. And when those come down, because they're going to fall on the street, or they've reached end of life, or they're pulling up the sidewalk, they're almost a weed up there. When they come down, that's where we get the wood now, not from the forests of Australia or Tasmania.
So somebody had the foresight, or at least somebody said, I'm planting these, and you said, hold up, I want to make guitars out of that if you have to bring it down.
Yeah, well, somebody 70 years ago did it. For example, our mahogany, most of it comes from Fiji and also from India. The British planted that a century ago. So that inspired me because I used that wood today. I didn't touch that wood. I'm just using that wood.
Yeah.
And I always thought a long dead British guy planted those trees in Fiji.
Yeah.
And I'm making guitars. These necks are made from those guitars, right? Or these guitar necks are made from that wood.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I want to be that long dead British guy. I want to be that long dead guy that somebody 50 years from now, 100 years from now, could be making something out of the wood that we decided to plant. So that's, it's all thrilling to me.
Well, here's what you don't know. In Southwest Missouri, which is where I live, in Springfield, when I'm showing somebody a tailor and I'm telling them about the brand, one of the things that I love to tell them is about the Ebony Project, about what you're doing with all these woods, but I love to tell them that in 100 years, people that care about building guitars and people who care about leaving it better than they found it in general, the history books will say, and then Bob Taylor saved Ebony, and then Bob Taylor saved Coke. So what you're doing, I talk about it all the time, and guys like me who love your instruments but just love music and love people talk about it, and you're doing something that's good for generations. It's a blessing. So
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
you're a good man.
For me and all of my colleagues and partners that help us do all of this stuff, because it's not a one-man band.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's just a fantastic thing to think that you can maybe lead the next generation with more options than this generation has. That's what I'm hoping.
That's awesome.
Right on.
Bob Taylor. God bless you, Bob.
Thanks, man.
Button back.